Is I got a little grease on my fingy. What's up, guys? This finger pointer has sure gotten a lot of appreciation, and I just want people to know that this is not a finger pointer. This is actually my hand. So you guys are being very mean, but regardless, today, pre-trip check on the FJ, what I usually do. This is going to be a really in-depth one. I don't do this every single time I go out, but I do this on longer trips, or if I haven't done it in a while. If I go and then I go wheeling the next weekend, I'll quickly look over everything. If everything looks good, then I just let her eat. So basically, we're gonna start at the front, work our way to the back. That's my face, not the back. The back. And I basically start at the frame and work my way out. One of the other things that I do is hit the compressor and then unlock the locker and listen for the psh. And then I do this until it pressurizes, and then keep these pressurized while I'm bolt checking, just to see if there's any weird leaks or anything. Alright, some of this stuff might be hard to see because of the angle I have to get in here, but first, start with the lower control arm. I know I said upper control arm earlier, but I'm already down here, so check the caster bolt or the camber bolt, and then the caster bolt on the back to start with. And then we'll go out here and check the uniball bolt. Bolt here always is a little finicky. You can't get a regular, it's hard to get a wrench up on top of it too. So I usually just check the bottom. If it spins, then I worry about getting another wrench up there and taking care of it. Here. A crescent wrench works for most of this stuff, and then if it feels loose, you can grab the proper size. You also want to make sure you check both of these guys. Then throw 17 on there and check your caliper bolts. Like push on the top, check for wheel bearings, and then press on the front and back of the tire, check for any tie rod play. There is visual stuff you can do. I don't run dust shields on the inside of the brake calipers either, so there's bolts in there that you can look at and make sure they look good too. Check your CV boots for chairs, check for any steering rack leak. This is all transmission fluid. I was redoing my cooler, so now we will move on to the back. For this kind of stuff, Usually the bolt won't spin, so just visualize it on the other side and you can see if the bolt's spinning or not. Then check the upper uniball, and the front is done. A little bit of uniball lube on them. So my rear end's going to be different than most of the people watching this, because I'm 3-linked. So I have my 3rd link up here, goes to back there, so I check that bolt, check that bolt, check the 2 lower link bolts on both sides, check the other side, lower link, and then check all of the diff bolts as well, the 3rd member bolts. You can also check driveline bolts while you're down here if you want to. I just put this driveline in like a trip ago and I already beat it up, so that's great. This is again one of those things that I check with crescent wrenches, because when I put these in I use like a crow's foot and a breaker bar, and it's just a lot to get out. So if I notice one's pretty loose, then I get that stuff out, but if it's not, then I just make sure it's tight with these. As you can see, these guys here are my new lower links. It's a 2-inch 250 wall, and then 2 5/8 width high, and these are Barnes and Duro joints. Those 2 bottom ones on a 9-inch you have to do with a wrench. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I could do some research to figure it out. Anything below centerline of the diff on the bottom seems to loosen up. Everything above it stays tight. I don't know if that's because when it's under load, if it's causing it to do this, or vice versa. But 8 inches are notorious for loosening up and leaking out of here. I had to pull this because it was doing the same thing, and I went down here with the ratchet and they were all loose, so I just make sure I check those quite a bit. And then let's go to the back and then check the pan hard, and then check your lug nuts on the rear, and the bolt check portion of prepping for a trip is done. Alright, so for the last thing is, I got a little grease on my fingy. Look at that. What kind of degenerate am I? The other thing that I'm not going to go over because it's kind of a pain in the ass to go over, I check that I have all my spare parts in there: spare CV, spare tie rod extension. If I'm going a little bit further than like an hour away, I bring my spare drive line, and I also have a spare steering rack. I bring all that with me. Check, make sure you got miscellaneous bolts and stuff. Check for your winch controller, your shackles, snatch block, just anything that you might need and that you usually do. Make sure you got your air chuck in there, your deflator in there, and then if you use CO2 to air up like I do, then make sure that you got enough in your bottle to air up. or you're going to be waiting forever with your ARB single compressor. That's pretty much it for pre-trip check. The one thing I missed on the front is the steering rack. I always check those through bolts on the steering rack, and then I look and make sure that the front diff mounts are still good. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully this video is a little bit quicker than the last couple. And then we're wheeling this weekend. I'm gonna film that. I'm gonna post this video before I go, so I have to film it. We're going out to a local spot, and we're basically gonna be working on this one rock garden. A bunch of us are gonna go. We'll hit some other stuff on the way there and stuff too, I'm sure. But as far as that goes, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, share it in groups and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys later.